Maybe it is easier said than done. Let me make sure I've got the... No, I don't have. Just making sure I've got the right angle. I'm struggling here. I'm struggling.
Alpha, the Falcon is back. Prepare for him a partner with attitude.
Hello and welcome to the next episode of Build the Megazord, where we're looking at issues 26, 27 and 28 this time. Yes, it is 3 issues in one, making it the first of the T-Rex arms. Now, the reason I'm doing 3 issues in one is because they are very small on their own, and I kind of want to make it a meatier video to get something done completed in one, rather than 3 little videos and people lose interest and stuff like that. Now, it is the first of the T-Rex arms, which means the second one is coming, and the second one is the next 3 issues, which is 29, 30 and 31. And I thought, you know, if you saw last week, you know kind of where I'm going with this, but I did think, how am I going to make it different to separate these 2 arm pieces? Because they're essentially the same, just one's left, one's right. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to do a live stream. I'm going to be live streaming next week from 4 o'clock PM UK time, where we'll be building the second T-Rex arm, which is issues 29, 30 and 31, as I said. So I just really want you to come along and just share that experience with me, because otherwise I'll be live streaming to myself, which I don't mind doing, but it's your chance to ask any questions you may have. Just have a little chat while I'm building, which I thought would be quite cool to do. If it doesn't work, I won't do it again, but I thought I'd experiment, so there we go. Also, I just want to say, I've just finished editing this part you're going to see now, and it is a little clunky in terms of audio, in terms of camera equipment, in terms of stuff like that. We are actually getting ready to move house, so it's all a bit manic at the moment. Filming and editing times are obviously taking second place to house stuff. Yeah, so I'll talk about that more on the live stream next week, because I have set some time aside to do that. I kind of want to do it for me as well, as it's the last thing I think I'll be filming in this house. Maybe the couple of issues after that, actually, because they're arriving this week, but you know, it's the last big thing that I'll be doing in this house before I move house. But yeah, more about that next week on the live stream, so I hope you join me for that, 4 o'clock PM UK time, and I will see you then. But enough about that, let's get started on the issues that we are covering in this video, 26 to 28, and here are all the pieces from those 3 issues, all in one big jumbled up mess. So all of these pieces are going to form the first of the Tyrannosaurus arms when we're all done with it. So I'm just going to push them all to the side for now. You can hear that we've got some metal parts going on in here, and the first part we're actually looking at is metal. It's this claw here, one of the iconic claws of the Tyrannosaurus, and it is metal and it is very heavy and it looks great. I'm just going to zoom in because that is quite a small piece. The next part that we need to get is this plastic part, but it's kind of like an interior part of the claw, and if we just get this here, it just very neatly slots into that gap there. Push it down so it's nice and tight, and that is very tight, lovely. But we will also secure that with a screw in just a moment. But while we're doing that claw, might as well do the other claw. This one is slightly different because it's got kind of like a little catch system here, and if I just push that in, that one is less tight. You can see that also, see that just wobbling around there, so that is less tight, and eventually that clip there is going to clip into that hole there to keep those 2 claws fused. So I'm just going to go ahead and screw those parts in now. And there we go, that is the 2 claws all done, and those parts are in there, and like I say, eventually they will clip together and be held together like that. So they don't move independently. I thought that Altaya might engineer it so they do move individually, but they don't. They're just like the SOC in that regard, where the top claws don't move individually from each other. We then need to get this bar, which essentially works as a bone to hold the claws together, and let's get the first one. This is the part with the hole in there, and we just place or we'll eventually be putting that on there. In fact, let's just move this claw aside for now and bring in the thumb claw, which is all metal and not hollow, and yeah, is very, very solid, looks fantastic. So what we need to do is we need to get all these three pieces together, and they are all pieces that move, so we need some washers. So we've got this first screw here. We get one of these tiny, if you can see, tiny metal washers there, and just put it over there like that. That is that one prepared, and in fact we can put that into the claw here. So just get that screw and just pop it into there like that, so that is secure. We then need to get a rubber washer, which is see-through and really and much harder to see than the metal. Come on, camera, focus. There we go. And if we just place this around there like that, then that is all ready to go, and then we can push the screw down into that washer there like that. We then get the thumb part, and we get another rubber washer, and we put it around that part there, and then that will fit in there like that. So that is how it all goes together, and then it's just a case of screwing it down properly, making sure none of the pieces come out. Oh, I think I did this first time. It's looking good. There we go. That's taken. And there we go. There we go, look at that. I'm just going to tighten this up a little bit. Yeah, it does go a bit more. There we go. So they are now nice and secure, but they do all move. Looking great. Just going to make sure that Sorry about that. I had a bit of a camera error there. The card malfunctioned. But what I was doing was I was just tightening this screw here to make sure that the claws were nice and tight, so that they can move, but they're not going to get loose on me. And that looks great like that. It's starting to come together. We then flip this around, and you see you got the inner workings there. We get another rubber washer just there, and we put it around this part here, like so. Did that go on? Yes. It's see-through and I couldn't see it. So yeah, that goes on there like that. And then we get this part here, which is kind of like a housing unit to kind of seal all this up. And we just slot that there like that, and just screw it down into this hole here, and that goes in there like that. And that is kind of a housing unit, and also I think it covers off, yes, so this part covers off the hollow part, so you won't be able to see it when it's all done, and this part does the same. We then get our final rubber washer, and we just put it around this screw hole here, and then we line up this claw here, and it needs to line up and also clip together with this one here. So I imagine this might be quite fiddly to do. Ah, okay, interesting. Okay, so I've got the washer still on there, and I've had to kind of close the claws together because that's to get the best angle. But this clip here, I thought it would clip around the other plastic part, but it doesn't. What it does is it clips into that metal lip there. It pushes that part back and clips into there like that. Oh, the washer stuck to my finger. It's a problem with rubber parts. There we go. So it just pushes and clicks in there like that. So that is secure. And then I'm just going to screw it down to secure it. But remember, the screw has to have the washer on there. So put the metal washer on this screw, and then lined everything up. Screw it in. Hopefully the washer isn't in the way. Something's in the way. That is not catching. Just going to do this off camera. Be right back. And there it is. All done. All nice and secure. Oh, very secure. Cracky. I might have over tightened that actually. That is nice and solid. So there we go. Lovely pincer movements, and it does open up all the way like that. Looks great. Now the Tyrannosaurus hand all done. Now let's get started on the rest of the arm. And for those keeping track, we have now moved on to issue 27. So the first part of issue 27 is getting this part here and lining it up and pushing it in there like that. And we've seen these joints before on various different Zords. We get these two parts in issue 27, and we need to get, sorry, this one here, flip it around like I've just done, and then we need to line up a second part like we've just done and push it into this hole. Now this one is harder to do. There we go, that is all in. There's a bit of a tight squeeze, but that is all in. So then we get these parts here, and very simply put it all together. So just get this part of the metal joint here and line it up with the hole here and push that in. And then same with this, we've got the metal joint here that goes through the hole, and then push everything together. Oh, which seems to be easier said than done. It's this metal joint. I'm just going to do this off camera, be right back. There we go, just some brute strength needed, and that part is all sealed there, and we've got the joints in place, and that is kind of the elbow joint of the T-Rex, and that is looking great. So the next parts of issue 27 actually come on a sprue. Well, actually these parts came on a sprue as well, but I already took them off. And these are screw coverings, which are lovely. You just get one off here, and they're just metal plastic parts, but we just push it into here to cover the screw holes. There we go, that we did with the claws. That looks so much better. Flip it around, and the second one is for this hole here. Oops, that one doesn't seem as secure for some reason. Oh no, maybe it is. No, it's not. So I might have to get some glue on that, or there's an angle to get it in right, which I haven't yet got. But yeah, we've got some parts there. I'm just going to leave that off for now and glue it in later, but they cover up all that unsightly thing. I say it's unsightly. Do you know what? It's not too bad if this part was left exposed, because it is too sunken in to really see, but this does look so much better, so much cleaner, so much like the original, so much like the show, you know, the cleanness of the show. So yeah, very happy that we've got those parts. And then take this part, because we're going to save it for later, just take it off the sprue now and put it to one side. And once again, for those keeping track, that was all that was in issue 27. So aren't you glad I just didn't do that video on its own, because that was very, very short. So moving on then to the parts we get in issue 28, and we get these arm covers here. So you just match up the two holes with the two pegs, and he says there's one in. Oh, maybe it is easier said than done. Let me make sure I've got the right angle. I'm struggling here. I'm struggling. That doesn't look right. What am I doing here? Hold on, be right back. Okay, there we go. It's quite hard because they're similar shapes, but you just got to make sure you find the right one that fits. So yeah, that one goes on there, and then the corresponding one just clips on there like that. Looking great. This elbow hinge still works. These claws still work. And we just covered up the bone of this lower T-Rex arm, which is great. So now we've just got to work on the final part of the arm. And the first thing we need to do is get this part here with this joint part, flip it around. Actually, no, not flip it around. We get this metal part here, which is a very complicated joint looking part. And we just pop that in there like that. And then we screw it in the bottom here with these 4 holes. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that now, but bear in mind that each of the screws needs a washer. So they've all got to have little washers attached. And there it is, all done. Now, this is part of the problem of doing this part work where not many other people are, that I know of. I can't ask them for advice. So mine looks like that when it's all in. I imagine that's designed to be like that so that it sits away from the main body. but it still doesn't look right. But that is pushed in as far as it can go. So let me know, and all these screws fit fine as well. So let me know if you are building this, if yours looks like this, because it looks slightly off. But for all intents and purposes, it all fits together correctly, and I'll follow the instructions as best as could, so it probably is right. But just let me know, because I'm very curious about whether that is actually right. Either way, that part is in there now, like that. So crikey, I just picked up this arm for a while, and it is heavy. This hand is very heavy, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, what we need to do is we need to line up the bar that's inside this part here with this hole here, and hopefully it should be fairly simple to do. Yes, okay, there you go. Did you hear that click? So that part is in there like that. We then get the second part, which doesn't have the joint on but has this lovely detailing, and we just pop that in there like that. And then to secure these two parts together, it's a screw through this hole here. There we go. And then just before we show the arm off in all its glory, we've got another screw hole cover part there. So we just pop that in there like that. And there we have it. The first of the Tyrannosaurus arms, first of two. So we're halfway through and it all moves wonderfully. That's a really tight one there, and that looks great. And yeah, bends all the way up, because when it's in Megazord mode it needs to be tightly packed in so that the pterodactyl can go over the top of it. And yeah, looks fantastic. Now I'm just going to get its counterpart, but much smaller, which is here. This is the SOC SOC Megazord Tyrannosaurus arm. You can see the size difference is quite palpable. Also, there's no metal parts in the SOC version. These claws are not metal, they are plastic. But if we bring them up closely, you can see, I need to cover up that hole. But apart from that, it all looks exactly the same. Apart from this big ear metal joint here is very different to the kind of ball joint type gap here, and I am very curious about how this is going to work, because if I bring in the SOC T-Rex, you can see there's the ball joint there where the arm will go on, and if I pop the arm back on there very simply, that ball joint allows it to kind of stick out like that, which looks great when it's in T-Rex mode, with the arms out like that, and then you push them together for Megazord mode. But I wonder if that functionality is going to be in it, because this joint is very different. Sorry, I got distracted, because if I just pop this off and I just put this here, that is one hench T-Rex. So dumb. But there we go. So yes, that is the T-Rex arm all done. The left T-Rex arm, I should say. So yeah, as I said at the start of this video, the next 3 issues are going to be the next arm, and I will be live streaming that next week, 4 o'clock UK time on Sunday, the whatever that is of October, the 9th of October, I think. So I hope you join me for that. If not, if you want to skip that, that's absolutely fine, because it is just the same arm again, just the left or right one, just the right arm next week. But I would like it if you could come along and have a little chat while I'm building. I thought that'd be quite cool to do. So hopefully see you next week. If not, I'll see you in 2 weeks' time, where we are building more of the T-Rex. We are going to keep building this T-Rex for the foreseeable future. So whenever it is I see you next, take care. Bye bye.